Greetings YouTube, Joe here with Culination Media, and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. This is episode number 84, and in this episode we're going to be continuing to tackle these battle CDs that we've picked up from all over the region, and we're going to begin this episode by taking on battle CD number 38. And in this battle CD, we're going to be faced with a fossil challenge. We're going to be teamed up with the Kanto fossil-type Pokemon. So we have Ammonite and Almastar, as well as Kabuto and Kabutops, versus the Hoenn fossils, Lileep and Cradily, and Anorith and Armaldo. This battle CD also has a B-side, so battle CD number, I guess 39 it is, will have us teamed up with the Hoenn Pokemon, and the teams will be switched and all that good stuff that usually happens when there's a B-side of a battle CD. Alright, so we're going to start out with Ammonite and Kabuto, and the opponent side is going to start out with Lileep and Anorith. So, what do we have here? Ancient Power, Tickle, Mudshot, and Water Gun. It's an interesting moveset there. I'm going to take a look at his stats. So obviously Ammonite is much better suited to using special type attacks, whereas Kabuto is much better suited to using physical attacks. So we're going to keep that in mind as we let this battle progress. We're going to go for a Water Gun on Anorith, and we'll go for, let's see, an Ancient Power on Anorith as well. So Anorith is going to be the fastest Pokemon on the field, and it's going to go for an Ancient Power on Ammonite, which does a pretty decent amount of damage. Kabuto will go next with another Ancient Power of its own, which is actually super effective on Anorith, even despite it being a Rock type itself. The fact that it is a Bug type makes it super effective. Cradily is going to be the next Pokemon sent out, and Ammonite goes for a Water Gun on Cradily, which really doesn't do that much damage at all. And Cradily and Lileep are two very difficult Pokemon to knock out, especially once they start using things like Amnesia. They already have very high defenses on their own, but after using Amnesia or Iron Defense, their defenses become nearly impenetrable. So, and of course that is barring a critical hit, but chances are you're not going to get very lucky and get a critical hit. Now, I'm a little bit confused on what I want to do here. This could get a little iffy. I was expecting Armaldo to follow Anorith, not Cradily. Anyway, we get an Ancient Power off from Kabuto on Lileep, and that does a pretty good amount of damage. And Cradily is going to go for a Bullet Seed, which is a Grass-type attack, and that's bad news for us because all 4 of our Pokemon have a 4x weakness to Grass-type moves, and as you can see, Kabuto goes down in just 2 hits from Bullet Seed. Alright, so our choices, Almastar and Kabutops, both are Water and Rock types. We don't have any differing types like the opposing side. We have a decent amount of varied moves. So Almastar does have Ice Beam, which is very useful in taking out Lileep and Cradily. But we're going to go with Kabutops first and have Ammonite use Tickle. So that's going to not only decrease Cradily's defense, but also decrease the power of its Ancient Power. And alright, let's see what we want to do here. Lileep also went for a Mirror Coat, which pretty much just reflects double the amount of special damage inflicted on it to whatever Pokemon attacked it. But obviously we didn't worry about attacking it that turn in the first place, so it doesn't matter. Ancient Power on Cradily does a good amount of damage there. And we actually might be able to knock it out in the next turn if we're lucky. And Bullet Seed on Ammonite from Cradily, and obviously Ammonite just has no chance to survive that with it being a 4x weakness. And Ammonite also has fairly low, as you could see the stats when we were looking at them, it has fairly low special defense. So Ammonite goes down, which means we're down to our last 2 Pokemon, and so it's 2 on 3 here. Lileep goes for an Ancient Power, and unfortunately gets the all stat boost that Ancient Power has as a secondary effect. It's only 10% of the time, but of course with our luck, that means that they're going to get that boost almost immediately, and they sure did. Alright, so we need to be careful with what we do here, because if we're not, we're going to lose this battle. So So we're going to go for a Surf with Amistar, and we'll use Kabutops to go for an Ancient Power. And I'm assuming... wait. Let's see, actually I want to go for an Ice Beam with Amistar, and then we can go for an Ancient Power. I think that's going to make things a little bit easier on us. So Ancient Power on Lileep. That does an okay amount of damage, not crazy. And then we're going to go for an Ice Beam with Amistar. With Amistar's very high special attack, that knocks out Cradily, and that's pretty much what we wanted to do here. Make sure that Cradily gets off the field because that Bullet Seed is just deadly. Alright, so it's 2-on-2 now, but it's more like 1.5 on 2 because Lileep just really doesn't have that much HP left at all, and it can inflict a lot of damage by itself. So our goal now is going to be immediately get rid of this Armaldo as fast as possible because Armaldo can do a lot of damage. So go for the Ancient Power, which is super effective, gets it down almost into the red zone, but not quite. Amistar is going to follow up with a Surf, which doesn't do that much damage to Lileep because it does neutral damage against rock and grass types, but Lileep has already put up an Amnesia, so it does even less damage than it normally would. Lileep goes for the Recover there to get most of its health back, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, it's 2-on-1 now, and they don't even have one of their evolved Pokemon, so we're in very good shape here. I'm going to want to stick to physical type attacks because of the Amnesia, so I'm going to go for a Fury Cutter, so this will get more powerful as the turns progress, and we may get lucky with a critical hit or something, but we can fall back on that Fury Cutter. And Ice Beam is going to be super effective on Lileep. That does some damage, and unfortunately, this is just going to be kind of a slow process because Lileep is +3 in special defense right now because it put up an Amnesia, which is +2, and then it also got that boost from Ancient Power a little bit earlier, where that raised all of its stats at once. So, but that's okay. It's a slow process, but it's inevitable. Lileep has no chance to knock out both Amistar and Kabutops by itself. It would need Cradily out in the field to help it. Anyway, Lileep finally bites the dust there, and that's going to be it for this battle. And Mr. Scientist is not happy, but that's okay because he's just a hologram. Battle CD number 38 is cleared. The Fossil Fandango. That's an awesome name for a battle CD. For our efforts, we're going to receive we're going to receive a Max Ether and Battle CD number 39. Excuse me for not being able to speak. Goodness gracious. Okay, well, since we unlocked side B for this Fossil Fandango, that's what we're going to go into right now. So that's going to switch the teams. So we're going to have Lileep and Cradily, as well as Anorith and Armaldo on our side, and the Kabutops, Ammonite, Amistar team is going to be our opponent. And that makes it a little bit more difficult, if you ask me. And the difference between this time and the last time is this time we start with we still start with the unevolved Pokemon, but the opponent's side starts with the evolved Pokemon, so we're at a clear-cut disadvantage here. I recommend not switching out because you want to keep your evolved Pokemon at the strongest strength that you possibly can, especially Cradily, because Cradily is the key to winning this battle. Anorith and Armaldo are both weak to both rock and water type moves, so they're not going to survive very long in this battle at all. Most of the time, they will go down in the first or second turn and not even be able to get an attack off. That's normal. That's not something that you should worry about. So letting them die is perfectly okay. And that's pretty much what I'm going to do here by sending out Armaldo. It's kind of just sacrificing him and allowing Lileep to get a move off. Amistar is going to go for a Waterfall also on Armaldo, and I mean, we lost 2 Pokemon in 1 turn there, which is actually kind of a good thing because it means that Cradily didn't have to absorb a hit when it didn't need to. Because, like I said, Cradily and Lileep are the key to winning this battle. And what we're going to be sticking to is Bullet Seed. over and over and over again and exploiting that 4 times weakness to grass. And both Cradily and Laleep have Bullet Seed, and I suggest just continuing to spam it as much as you possibly can. Kabutops goes for an Ancient Power there on Laleep, and as long as it doesn't get a stat boost, you'll be relatively okay. Waterfall almost knocks out Laleep, but it barely survives, which means we should be able to knock out someone in this turn. If Laleep died there, I don't think we would have been able to. Alright, so we get a Bullet Seed, and we were only able to hit twice there, but that still takes away about half of Kabutops' health. And another Bullet Seed from Laleep, and, oh, not quite. Oh, thankfully, it does hit 3 times. I thought it was only going to hit 2. But that is able to knock out Amistar, which is very important. Now we just have Ammonite to deal with in the Ammonite Amistar line. And we'll have Laleep go for a Bullet Seed on Ammonite. And I don't think he's going to survive the turn, though. No, not quite. Kabutops goes first and gets an Ancient Power off on Laleep, which unfortunately gets rid of him out of the battle. But at the same time, we're going to trade an eye for an eye here, and Cradily is going to use this turn to get rid of Kabutops. So we're down both of their evolved Pokemon, so we just have to deal with Kabuto and Ammonite now. And as long as we can get one off the field fairly quickly, we should be in really good shape, because they can't do a lot of damage to Cradily at one time. Alright, so again, sticking to Bullet Seed. There's no reason to use any other moves in this battle except for maybe Ingrain. If you feel like you need to get some HP back, it's not a bad idea to use it after you get these unevolved Pokemon on the field, but at the same time, it's not necessary. With 2 hits from Bullet Seed, we're able to knock out Kabuto in 1 turn. And Ammonite's going to go for a Mud Shot, which is kind of a smart move because it will decrease our speed. And somehow Cradily is faster than Ammonite. I don't know exactly how, but now it's not going to be with the speed lowered. And it's just going to keep using Water Gun over and over and over again, which inflicts neutral damage, but barring a critical hit, Ammonite really doesn't have any chance to knock out Cradily here. And unfortunately, because it only hit 2 times, it's going to leave Ammonite with 6 HP, and we're going to have to go another turn. Water Gun again, please no critical hit. Nope, no critical hit. So that's going to be it for this battle, and you can very plausibly come back from that 0-2 deficit after losing the entire Anorith line in the first turn. And of course, this time after using Ancient Power, we're going to get the stat boost when we absolutely have no use for it because the battle is over. That's just pretty much how most of my battles go. I get the stat boost at the end after I kill everyone. Oh well, I guess I can't complain because we defeated the battle. So that's going to be it for this episode, guys. We defeated the Fossil Fandango. And in the next episode, we're going to be continuing to take on these battle CDs. We don't have that many more to do. We'll maybe do 1 or 2 more episodes. And then we'll head out to Cetadark Isle. And start taking down Greevil's army of shadow Pokemon. Thank you very much for watching, and please stay tuned for episode number 85. Game on!